Welcome, everybody, to Generation Dan, the only podcast that you decided to listen to when you were drunk and will definitely regret the next day. I'm Matt the Snowflake Driver Millennial.
Oh, that was
Who else
great.
is here with me?
I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel, as you can see here. I feel like drunken regret is a rite of passage, so that's fair. Sober regret, much worse. Much worse.
Studies are showing that Gen Z is drinking less, so they have to deal with regret sober, and God, how boring.
This is the weird thing is, like, I've never been a huge drinker, like, oh, I'm just gonna get drunk by myself. Like, that's not a thing, right? And like, I had a friend who asked me, he was like, hey, how many drinks do you have when you get home? And I'm like, in my house? He's like, yeah. I'm like, none. He's like, no, like, you get home from a hard day, how many drinks do you have? Zero. He's like, shit. I'm like, why? He's like, what about, like, I was like, maybe if I had dinner, I might have a glass of wine or something, but, like, that would be if there are people, if I open a bottle of wine, then I'm going to finish a bottle of wine. Not interested. So, hilarious. He's like, yeah, I had to lie to my doctor. I was like, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't,
because doctors freak out.
Yeah, alcohol is social lubricant, and if you're just drinking by yourself, that's masturbation, basically, which is less good.
Well, it causes long-term issues. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where I've had a lot of people, like, it's the same thing where okay, so you're not gonna have fun with this conversation. Was like, I made my opinions about tattoos that have no purpose quite I made the point loudly amongst a lot of people, and the company were like, well, I have this tattoo. I'm like, good, what does it mean? They're like, nothing. And I'm like, then why'd you get it, idiot? Like, and it was very much one of those things where they were just like, dick. And I'm like, who's the dick? You're the dick. You did something for nothing. But it's forever. It's very, very funny to me.
Yeah, I mean, that is a little judgy, because that is their body that they're doing that to. They can do whatever they want, and it's not hurting anybody.
But, sure, it just
the needles hurt, but
the needles hurt a lot. This is one of those things, and you know what? Anyone listening, opinions on tattoos, hit us. Go for it.
Yes, please
share with us your wonderful knowledge.
Yeah, and what if you have any tattoos? Tell us the story behind it. I
guess. Absolutely. Tell us what happened. Tell us who wronged you or righted you. I don't know. There's always, like, I've always wanted a tattoo. I'll be honest with you. I just can't think of, hello, Jennifer, how are you? I've thought about it, and I'm like, I don't know what I would want forever. That's my hard thing. Like, the only thing I could come up with was, like, birthdays of any kids that I have, because I'm like, they could change their name. They can't change their birthday. That's one of those, like, but then I don't have any kids, so it's kind of.
I mean, well, nice. Okay. So for people who are wondering about this, your boy here got tattoos over the weekend. That was what we were supposed to do the episode about, and then literally I forgot that we were doing 9 instead of 10 again. Remember last time we did that, and I slept through I forgot to change the alarm. It's the same fucking thing every time. So. Yeah. Now, do we do the reveal now or later?
Whatever you'd like. Whatever. Okay. I wish I could change my birthday time. I don't know why that would be
February 29th or 9/11 or something, or what?
There are a few people I've met that have birthdays on 9/11. I'm like, oh, how did that? They're like, it was rough. Because the day of, you're like, yeah, let's celebrate your birthday, I guess. Anybody want to say something? And we were like, no.
Or just January 6th, the birthdays here in the US, that's ruined forever. But like
January 6th anyway.
Like an early South Park episode, there's like a thing where Butters gets a package in the mail, and he's like, I wonder what it could be. My birthday isn't until September 11th, and they just sneak it right in there. And it's like, oh, Butters, it's so sad. So
Jennifer says, I'm a banana. I don't know what that means.
The first tattoo that I got is on my left tricep here. I should stand up.
There's a
This?
A little bit. Turn a little bit more. No, other way. Turn a little more. Not very well. It is a dandelion.
It's a sparkler.
It's a sparkler. Yeah, okay. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Now, if you can see the border on it, I still have what's called the second skin, which is they put it on after the tattoo to make sure the ink like stays. So you leave that on for a few days and then peel it off. But the reason I got a sparkler is my wife has a little globe in the same area, like on her left tricep is a globe to symbolize me. And my wife's name is Katie, which doesn't really have like a symbolic thing associated with it. And I didn't necessarily want to put just the letter K because then people would be like, potassium? Strikeouts? Racist guys in ghost outfit? No, like, so that wasn't really working. But her birthday is July 5th. So, and it usually gets lumped in with 4th of July. So, sparkler. That's why. So it's like a couple's tattoo without being a couple's tattoo.
I mean, it's a couple's tattoo with or maintaining your individuality. I like that. I think that's reasonable. Yeah. I think, and that's also very important in marriage. Let's be very clear. Is you can spend all your time together, you still have to have your own individual identities. It's a thing. But yeah. And everyone is saying I'm a banana. I don't know why. I'm a banana. I'm a banana. I'm a banana. And Katy Perry. Sure. All right.
Spelled differently than that. But that is, yeah. So the good thing is, like, if God forbid our marriage falls apart, which, hope that never happens. Even if it does, it just looks like a sparkler. Like, it's not, Katie, my beloved. And then you have to explain that to every other person, that sort of thing. It's a good thing she doesn't listen to this show and she's not home right now.
I'll be honest with you. I do love seeing Instagram like pictures of people who have had to have cover-ups, and it's like, love always, this name and tattooed crossed out, new name, that one's crossed out, the same as the first one, like back and forth.
After a while, you just go XOXO Gossip Girl. Like, there's not really a good way to do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, banana. Hey, listen, Jennifer Mullish, I think you like bananas. Maybe you should have some, by all means. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I always thought about that with What's Up, Gentlemen. Quick question. Would you yeah,
sure. I'd like to be skinnier. I'm just going to completely pretend that's what they're talking about. Yeah,
I've actually been working. I've been working on my girth for quite some time, and it's progressively getting smaller.
Jesus.
There you go.
Yeah. The other one that I got is
tell me.
There's kind of a lot to it, so
that's fair. There's a poppy, 2 poppies. All right, tell me, share with me the hidden knowledge of your tattoos, sir.
So, about 3 years ago, my sister Phoebe and I decided to get sibling tattoos. And we're both from the great state of California, whose state flower is the poppy, the orange one. And we decided to get sibling tattoos. Again, different designs based on what the person wants. We're not doing the same tattoo twice, but just a poppy is part of it. This particular design, I asked one of the first students I ever had as he was graduating to draw a design for me with the California poppy, and the other one is the Flanders poppy, which I'm sure you're familiar with. Yep. So for people who don't know, that was the only flower that would grow between the trenches of World War I. And it's a symbol.
Because the poppies thirst for human blood. That's why.
Yes, pretty much. That's why it's red.
That's the science. FYI.
Yeah, so it's like a symbol of, not only because I love history and want to be a history teacher, the fact that it was drawn by that student, and it's like a symbol of my journey toward being a history teacher from the very beginning of my journey as a teacher with one of my first ever students. And it's growing against adversity, and they're intertwined with each other, all that good stuff. So that's where that comes from. It also hurt like a motherfucker.
Oh, I can
adding because the black outline with the sparkler is like a very thin needle, and they just do the lens. This they had to. It's like 5 needles in a row, and they're getting in there, so the color stays, and it hurts.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there making conversation with the tattoo artist, and you're like,
so? Yeah. I mean, so how long did each one of them take? Because the color one that's going to take a lot longer. I know that.
Yeah. So I did both in one session, and it took about 5 hours. The first one was about an hour and a half, and the poppies was the rest of the time.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm. Plus 4 equals a banana. And you mean if the people have more than 4 tattoos, they're a banana? That is entertaining.
Plus 4
well, the only thing, Q-Tog, what's his name? His name is Pumpkin. The only thing I know about being a banana is somebody who's and this is from Google, and it's a real thing, is I'm a banana is often used to describe someone who is East Asian or Southeast Asian by heritage, but identifies more with Western culture. So,
I see.
And that's, like, there's been times
for black people.
100%. Yeah. But yeah, so, but the thing is, like, a lot of Asians use that. They're like, yeah, I'm a banana. You're like, oh, hello, Victoria. She was born in the UK, so she's definitely a banana. But yeah, I don't know. I think those are cool. I think those are good ideas. Also, too, having one with your sibling, I think, is a neat idea. But you know, yeah, I don't know what I would do, even if any of my siblings were interested in getting tattoos. I probably wouldn't. But yeah,
I like. Well, we had the idea. And then now that I've gotten it done, I sent a picture to my sister. I was like, your fucking move. Now I'm curious to see what she does for hers.
Oh, so hold on. So she hasn't had the,
I've been sitting on this design for like 2 years now.
You have to lord it over her. Just every time be like, hey, so when's your appointment? Just, yeah.
I've been putting Aquaphor on this tattoo so it heals properly. You know, it would be great if someone was here with me going through the same amount of pain. They have semi-permanent tattoos now where they last about 2 years and then fade away. That's interesting. I've never heard about that.
See, and that's like, my problem is that if I'm okay with one, I feel like I would be inebriated and then maybe be like, let's get another one. Do it on my face. And just, it's going to go bad. It's going
to, my teacher neighbor, the history teacher, who is like later Gen X, he has a bunch of tattoos that like when he saw the sparkler, he was like, be careful, they're addictive. And he was wearing kind of a loose fitting shirt, and I could see some on his chest and stuff, and I'm like, oh, he's got hella tattoos.
I wouldn't tell that story, but like, it was on his chest, so I engaged looking at his muscular chest and saw all of his tattoos. It comes across weird.
Whatever.
I think Jennifer Molish might be a child, but that's fine.
Maybe.
6, 7, 8, 9, whatever.
I'm a child.
Yeah. Pumpkin thinks everyone's a child. He's like, you're all giants. Bunch of weirdos. Yeah. No, that's cool. I'll be honest with you. I know a guy, it's the husband of one of Victoria's old coworkers, who had like an Aztec circular thing, like it was almost blacked out his entire back, and it was like this big.
Wow.
Like it was a giant thing. He's just Canadian. He's not native in any way, shape, or form. And I was like, oh, cool. What's the connection? He's like, I just thought it looked cool. And I'm like, it's your whole back and it's black. Like, there's no way to cover it up. And then he found out that not only was the laser more expensive than originally getting that tattoo, but also way more painful, apparently. So smart move getting them high up and stuff. Because
apparently
I shouldn't be listening to this.
Yeah, definitely get out of here. Apparently, the way tattoo removal works is the laser kind of breaks down the border of the ink so that your body thinks it's a virus or a bacteria and attacks it, and you poop out your tattoo eventually.
Yeah. Regardless, that will happen to a degree. I know there are some things like, because you got to use a fine needle for something with a lot of detail. There are some that are crazy detailed that I'm like, I do not know how that's going to last. But
yeah, the person who did my tattoo, shout out to Voodoo Tattoo in Santa Monica, by the way. Go check them out if you like those. They're the ones who did my tattoo. But she was, very inked up, and I think that's like the sign of a good tattoo artist, right? If it's like, wow, you have a lot, you do a lot, that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's one of those things where like you have to be able to trust the person doing it. There's a new video going around of a guy's like, all right, we're all done. May I ask why you did that? She's like, oh, it's my boyfriend's name. They're like, oh, his parents didn't like him or something? They're like, no, his parents love him. And he's like, I'm sorry, what's his name? Clint. And the tattoo did not look like Clint. It looked like cunt. And you're like, oh, that's way worse. They have a really good tattoo artist in NYC called Bang Bang who does realist fine line tattoos. Yeah, Victoria showed me. I'm like, what do you want to get? Your full face, like full. And she's like, no, I don't want to get a tattoo. I'm like, I don't know.
I wanted to talk a little bit about like how our generations view tattoos.
Oh,
because when we were kids, our parents told us if someone has tattoos, fucking run, right?
Yeah,
the people who have tattoos, they've been to prison. Like,
yeah, that's like for me. I've said it on stage. There was a guy who came into the bar. It was not a seedy bar. It was just kind of a goth kind of bar. And then one day they have comedy. It was every Tuesday. Shout out Cherry Cola. I think it's closed now, but it was awesome. And sure enough, like there was a guy at the bar who was like in jeans, leather jacket, had like a cowboy type hat, something like that, and then also had like tattoos on his neck. And I'm like, listen, if somebody has tattoos on her neck, stay away from that person. That person's a dangerous person, and you should give them all the room they need. It's that simple. And he just kind of looked and was like, yep. I was like, and now if someone has a neck tattoo, they may be a CrossFitter or releasing an album soon, and they will let you know. But also ridiculous, because I've seen guys with like a kiss tattoo, like lips kissed in red on his neck, and I'm like, there's nobody like, hey, man, you can't do that.
Bugs Bunny came out in drag and was like, "Yoo-hoo, boys."
Yeah, that's right. And it was actually quite large, but it looked like someone had done it on a piece of paper, and that's what he used. Like, so it was very detailed and stuff, but also like, why? I mean, why? He had a lot of tattoos, and I'm like, oh, because like people do, like you said, people do get addicted to the experience or the pain or all sorts of weird stuff, right? Like it's a thing, but I don't know. I like how do what? How do you see it? Because we have a solid 15-year difference, and then also like your parents are older, like my parents are older, so it won't be that separate. But what was your kind of?
I think when they were never explicit with like stay away from people with tattoos, but the way they behaved around people with tattoos, they were, kind of give them a wide berth, that sort of thing. And then as I was getting into like my later childhood and teen years, this is like the early 2010s, you're seeing like kindergarten teachers with tattoos. Like it starts to become just, you have a tattoo.
No, I was gonna say,
so
if I walked in,
the culture shifted.
Sure.
And I think also, as I got older, the things that wouldn't freak me out weren't the presence of tattoos. It was both like the placement and what the tattoos specifically were. If you have a tattoo on your face, something's up with you. I
wish you all the best. Victoria says, I know someone who gets tattoos to commemorate events like concerts and favorite foods in her life, which is super
That's
weird.
What the guy from Memento did. That's just trying to remember the best parts of your life.
Dino, it's good to see you back in men's clothing. Only from the waist up. I am still wearing I bought ladies jogging pants. They do have pockets and they're super comfortable. Awesome. I kind of got duped, but also Victoria abandoned me to a salesperson, and then I was just like, I just didn't want to be rude, and this lady kept on helping me, and I'm like, I don't want to buy ladies pants, and she's like, but they're the same, it doesn't matter, and I'm like, and then I bought them, and they're super comfortable, so I kind of don't, it's a whole thing. But
I'm trying to see
Nicole. I appreciate
that Katie sent me. where it was like something funny she said.
Yeah. If I was bringing my kid to their kindergarten class and I saw that the kindergarten teacher had tattoos, I'd be like, nope, just take the kid. I'm like, no, not interested. Like high school, no problem. Anything below high school, absolutely fuck not. Just, I don't need that. I don't need my kids being influenced like that, because kids ask questions and then I don't want to have to deal with that. That's not like, it's somebody, like if I saw somebody and they had tattoos, like old school, this is an old school thing, was you don't get them below your elbow so you can roll up your sleeve. You don't get them above your shirt line so you can wear your collar open. But like, that's the thing. So if you have it, like even in the military, you can't have it on your hands and stuff like that. Like it has to be covered up, right? And I don't think it's a moral issue or anything like that. It's more so that, like, I think the more you expose the kids, like, let kids be innocent, let kids be kids, and I think that's a good thing, right? Like, but what do I know? I don't have kids, so I mean, like, my opinion is invalid.
Like, okay, so I went by that same principle, right? One is above my left elbow, the other is hidden by just a t-shirt.
Perfect.
And in Katie's case, the only one that's really like that is she has a cupcake right here. Everything else can be hidden by a shirt or hair. And I feel like a cupcake is innocuous enough where it's not really a big deal.
Also, placement in there, the likelihood of someone seeing it or not noticing it. Yeah. There's a million different things, and that's fine. Like, it's not. It's very. I've seen some people get tattoos for no reason in very poor places, and you're just like, you didn't take 5 minutes and just go, hey, is this going to affect me in any way, shape, or form? Like, I don't know. I maybe I think too much about it. Maybe I care about how things look, but at the same time, I used to be 500 pounds. So do I really care? Probably not, but
Then you have like one of my students saw the sparkler and they're like, "Mister, are you gonna get like a teardrop one on your face?" I'm like, "You know what that symbolizes?" They go, "No." And I'm like, "Okay, it means that you in prison killed someone." And we go, "It does?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so, do I look like I've been to prison? No. Do I look like I would kill someone? No.
I just see the next day one of your kids have a teardrop and going, and you're like, "The fuck out of here, kid!" Yeah, no, that's
really drives home the point that I'm teaching children who are 16 years old. They're children.
They are children, though. That's fine.
Okay, I found the. So I sent Katie the picture of the sparkler. Like right after it's done, there's a little red around the needle. She goes, "Oh, that's so cute, babe." I said, "Thank you." And then she goes, "I would ask if it hurt, but you actually have a really high pain tolerance." I was like, "You're goddamn right, I do." So.
Yeah, that's fair. She has found you in a pool of your own blood before, so that's fair. That's, I mean, yeah. It's one.
And then, like, after I woke up, my reaction. I remember being awake for this was, fuck, and then walking with her to the car with a gash in my face that was actively bleeding, and going to the hospital. Yeah,
I think that might be a man thing, though, too. Like, it just because I've hurt myself, I'm like, oh, I gotta go to the hospital. Why? Because I hurt myself. Did you hurt so bad? And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh God. And you're like, everyone stay calm. You gotta relax. This isn't helping anyone by freaking out. But and then sometimes I'm like, what's his face? Will Ferrell in Old School. He's like, nobody freak out. Everyone needs to stay calm. It just doesn't.
I haven't seen that movie forever.
It's top tier entertainment, sir. Top tier entertainment. I don't know. I think society as a whole has gotten very comfortable with tattoos, which I don't know if I didn't see it coming. I just didn't expect it. Even growing up as an adult, realizing how many people do a lot of drugs, like a lot, is surprising.
Tattoos and weed. It's like, what a difference in 20 years, right?
I keep on joking with people about the whole idea that I have to pay taxes when I buy weed, and I'm like, I hate this. I hate this every second of it because it's stupid. Like, It's the idea that you're like, well, make sure you pay your taxes on your weed, and you're like, that's dumb. You know,
I'm okay with paying taxes on my weed if it went to educating the children or building trains. That would be awesome. Because if there's anything that autistic people love, it's trains and weed.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like there should be some more. Like right now, the only thing that you don't get taxed on is certain groceries because they're used to make other things, right?
Right.
But like, you shouldn't be taxed on a lot of stuff. I think that's the. I feel like there's a lot of things that you shouldn't. The gas you shouldn't be taxed on. Cigarettes you shouldn't be taxed on.
Well, because the tax on cigarettes was partially what helped to make them not as much of a problem in society, was like taxing them to the moon. Although they've also lost the cultural like mystique of it all. Like smoking doesn't look cool anymore because sucking on a vape is decidedly uncool. Way less than like, you know.
Yeah.
And also it just smells bad.
True.
So when like enough time has passed and cigarettes have lost their cultural, like, constantness in society, right? You can probably take the tax off now. I think enough people are not buying cigarettes where you're okay.
Well, we have tobacco use is thousands of years old, right?
Yeah.
So I think that the bigger thing, and actually, so I've been reading up on this, is like a lot of the things that are in cigarettes are bad for you. The one thing that's not as bad for you and actually has quite a few uses in your internal system is nicotine. And it's one of those things where it actually, there's a lot of things that it helps with in your body, body functions and stuff. And people are like, no, cigarettes are bad. Yes, cigarettes are bad. Nicotine is not so bad. It does have quite a few uses in medicine. So it's this weird thing where you're going, well, why can't we make cigarettes less unhealthy and more healthy? And people are like, no, that's crazy. And you're like, okay, but just look at the idea of like, why are your Fruit Loops different from my Fruit Loops, and my Fruit Loops and your Fruit Loops are even more different than the ones in Europe? Why? Because there's a law that says you can't put dog shit in your Fruit Loops. That's and in the States they're like full of dog shit, just full of dog shit Fruit Loops, which nobody likes eating dog shit for breakfast. People, that's ridiculous. That's a horrible thing, right? So yeah,
hookah. This is where my mind is heading me towards hookah, right? Where that is smoking tobacco without the capitalism of it.
Theoretically, but then the problem is like even hookah has changed quite a bit. So like new hookah is not as good for you as it used to be, right? Like the whole principle behind it was to smoke tobacco, and then they would add flavors and they would add scents like rose water and like weird stuff like that, where like if anything cool, like really good hookah was like a like drinking fine whiskey and stuff. Like that was a social thing too, right? Like you could brag about my new hookah with 7 spouts, whatever, right? And then it I still think smoking's cool. What can I say? I'm a bad person. But yeah, it's one of those things where I don't know. Like I'm more surprised that tattoos are where they're at versus smoking. But I don't know. You can't really predict the future in that way, right? And especially the fact, like Victoria was saying, like there are people who get tattoos to celebrate everything. And like I remember, you know who Matty Matheson is?
Yeah,
he's a chef. He's a Canadian chef. He's in The Bear. He's very popular. He's got a lot of stuff coming out. But he is riddled with tattoos everywhere on his face and everything. And they were like, "Oh, what's your most significant tattoo for you?" And he pulled up his shirt, and it was a small one. I forget what it was. And he was like, "Oh, this is from my. It was to commemorate my sister, but like I kind of just walked into a place and was like, hey, I want to do this. You do it." And then after the guy's like, all right, you owe me $600. And Matty Matheson's like, I got 30. you can have $30 for this shit tattoo. Like it was a whole thing, and I'm just like, I don't know how that qualifies, right? Because like it was to commemorate my sister. I'm like, and the rest of them, he's like, who knows? And you're like, that's weird. Okay.
It's so
I don't get
funny
it.
to me that Matty Matheson plays not a chef on.
Yeah.
He's the handyman. Like
his YouTube episodes where he's cooking is very funny because he gets so enraged by stuff. It's very funny just to watch him like break character and just be like, this is ridiculous. It's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
But then like, see, that's the thing too, is like, I feel like there's kind of a chicken and the egg scenario. Is like, are you dangerous and got tattoos, or did you get tattoos and you could only hang around with dangerous people, so you became dangerous? It's like you're like, I don't know. I don't know how that worked in the past, because a lot of tattoos were meant as a this is going to sound weird because there are certain applications where it was not in a good way, but like you would get a tattoo of your army unit or stuff that had significance to keep track of you. And then like people who were left the military in ancient times and went on to do other things would like scar it off. But there's a lot of stuff. I knew a guy in school who had a whole lion, like a lion's face and mane, and it was all done with scars. It was like all over his shoulder. It looked super cool, but I'm like, that sounds like a fucking nightmare, because they're all uniform scars. So it's this weird thing. I don't know. It was messed up. He also had tattoos, and he was not a good person. He was maybe 5'3" in high school, and you were like, that guy definitely has a gun. You're like, don't hang out with him. That guy is bad news.
There's even like a controversy about Graham Plattner, who is the senatorial candidate for the Democrats in Maine, who he's like had a lot of like leftist positions, but he's also got a fucking Iron Cross tattoo on his chest. It's a Nazi tattoo.
Okay.
And
the Iron Cross isn't always Nazi. That's like the swastika being always Nazi. Like that's not true either. But now, but if you're white, does it come across that way? Like, hey, do you have a family history of being in the Crusades? Maybe that'll work. If you don't, not really relevant.
He's an oyster farmer, but it's just the kind of thing where that's like some suspicion on him, where like you still have that suspicion of tattoos, even though it's a specific tattoo. It's still making people talk about like, is he fit to be a senator for having a tattoo? And
I mean, if he's got the Iron Cross in black, if he's got it with the addition of the swastika in the middle, I feel like that clears up any question.
No swastika. I think it's just like the one with like the 4 around it, like 1 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and like a.
But if it's that's the thing is like the Iron Cross, if it was in red, is very much like old. If it's in black, not that old, and that gets weird because and
he said he wasn't really like paying attention. Oh, sorry, it's a skull tattoo.
It's a skull. Oh, okay.
So I don't
know if a skull is worse or better. That
is a it's the 3rd SS Panzer Division during the Second World War.
Okay, then that's definitely not something that you kind of want in politicians.
At the time, Graham allegedly denied not knowing the true meaning of the tattoo and said, "I absolutely would not have gone through life having had this on my chest if I knew that, and to insinuate that I did is disgusting. I already had the tattoo covered with a new design, which sounds good that he would do that, but also I could very easily see him. He was in the military. Some drunken night out with people being like, "That's a cool skull on the wall. I want that skull here." Like I could very easily see that happen.
What was his name again?
Graham Plattner.
Yeah, I got it. Plattner. Let's go. Tattoo. Before picture. And give me something. Oh, it looks kind of weird. I want to see what it was before. Hard to tell what it is before. And the replacement I'll be honest with you, still looks Germanic. So I don't think so, bro. That's also
Germanic? Like you
it
know,
does because it looks like a wolf.
Wagner's a German name, so
Well, then he's got his own. Maybe he should have moved to Argentina like everybody else from Germany.
yeah. See what I mean? Like it's enough to cast suspicion on him.
Yeah. Oh, so somebody. Okay, hold on. Oh, so the original is very cool looking. No, in no shape or form, way, shape, or form would you look at that and be like, I'm sure that doesn't have an alternative meaning. That's what I want right there on my chest. And you're like, that's not. It is like when you look at it, you're like, that's not a happy skull, friend. That is a aggressive, hey, let's blow people up kind of skull. I don't know. It's yeah, bro.
All helmets have skulls on them.
It's like, yes, if we were fighting someone who had a rat's anus on their hat, they would be worse. And you're like, but it's very much like I think that, like, considering how much propaganda there was during World War II and nobody picked on, you're like, none of this stuff looks happy. Does anyone else realize that? It all looks quite aggressively mean. But I also too, like, I've met people with like face tattoos, nicest people in the world. And after a couple conversations, I'm like, hey, can I ask you a question? They're like, is it about tattoos? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, no. All right. Just leave it at that. And then I'm like, I don't think I don't think they were nice. I think they're nice now, or I'm bigger than them. I don't know, one of the two, but don't go near them. It's fine.
Inevitably, what happens with tattoos is if somebody sees it, they're going to have questions. What inspired you to get this tattoo? What does it mean? Where did you get that sort of thing? I feel like any sort of thing that's not something you buy in a store and keep in your closet. That is a part of you.
Yeah.
As long as you still have that tattoo. So of course people are going to be like, you went out of your way to get that. So what does it mean? And then you're kind of obligated to tell them. Like, it's different with a scar, where a scar is like, yeah, that, you know, maybe you get annoyed with talking about it because you may not have had control over whether you get it. But a tattoo, you had to go out of your way to get it put on you.
Yeah. It's also like, I feel like there are so many, like, so I've heard a lot of examples of people who are like, if you're debating about a tattoo, do this and then decide, right? But then, like Victoria said, like the tattoos that last for 2 years, I think that'd be cool. Try it. Do I like it? No. Yes. Whatever. You know. Yeah. But like then I've seen
last for like a week and a half. Like that's a good amount of time.
Sure, but then you know you get stains on everything. But then like I've also like one guy was like, oh, if you want to get a tattoo, take your favorite shirt, wear it every single day. Just that, nothing covering up, just that shirt every single day for 30 days. If it's still your favorite shirt, get a tattoo. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. They're like, don't wash it. That's the only shirt you can wear for an entire month. Best of luck. And then, you know, it's a fair rationale. Like, and I think that's more so for people who aren't getting them for any significance, right? People who are just arbitrarily getting them. And I think that's tough. Like, also, if you've wanted to get this for a few years, right? Which is, I think, is a reasonable time. Can I ask, were you ever tempted in school when you were in high school or college or university or whatever?
Not really. There wasn't a culture of peer pressure for tattoos. There was a culture of peer pressure for drugs. That's fair. And God knows that happened. But with tattoos, it was just kind of like, whenever I met someone that had one, I was like, oh, that's cool. And then, you know, you would usually hear the person talk about it, and that seemed like a unique experience to them. And I didn't really feel an obligation to get one. This was technically, the sparkler was technically the an on a whim tattoo, because Katie got hers on a whim, the globe. And then when I was like doing the work for this one, the poppies, I was like, I should, you know, return the favor. And and that's on a whim. I don't regret either of them.
No, but you had
maybe
reason for both.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe in the capacity that people are like, "Is it a dandelion?" And I gotta be like, "It's not a fucking dandelion." That's the only problem that I have.
Okay, but realistically, you are bad at doing it, and also it's over the internet, so it doesn't count.
Yeah,
but also
like, the person have.
Oh,
that. But also the second skin is still on it with which blurs slightly. When it comes off, it'll look more visible. The second
to me, it looked like it had a border. It looked like you had a border as if it was a picture of a dandelion, and I was like, all right, yeah. So it's definitely gonna be different
when that peels off. That'll make it look more like a sparkler.
Did the color one peel off quick? Like what happened?
Yeah, because it's on a part of my arm that's constantly moving. I feel like that kind of like flexed it more. Also, it's covering a bigger surface area with more ink, so it gets saturated quicker and comes apart.
Yeah. I mean, they look good. I'll tell you that. I think that's also a great thing. It was someone says, "Oh, those look good," and then you're like, "Thank fucking Christ," because there's never. Have you seen the cat outline? Or it might be a puppy. It looks like a wiener. It's supposed to be like an Art Deco type, like a cat or dog tattoo on someone's shoulder, and it looks like a wiener because it's just like one smooth line.
I have a dog that looks like a wiener. Wow, that cat does indeed look like a wiener.
Right? Yeah, because it looks like balls and then head, and you're like, oh, that can't be good. That's yeah. It's one of those things where, especially the idea of getting it on your back, like then I'm not going to know what this is, and everyone will know. There was a lawsuit a while ago because a guy got it was his girlfriend. He found out she was cheating, so she was like, "I want this tattoo." He's like, it was supposed to be like a big tattoo on her back or a tramp stamp, I think, and he got like a doo-doo with flies and like smelly lines coming off it as a tramp stamp, and she sued him. Because that is not what she wanted. So yeah, it's I like, you look at it and you're going, yeah, don't, like, it's the same idea. Whereas like if you have a partner in crime and the contingency for you staying out of jail is them staying loyal, don't cheat on that person. I don't know how much more succinct I could be about that. So it's like, yeah, if you're gonna trust somebody, don't cheat on that person, because that will blow up in your face. Just FYI. It's a PSA to everybody, I think. But
that's so funny that he managed to get that to happen. That's nuts.
Yeah, like at the same time, bravo. Not worth it. I think he ended up having to pay her like $5,000, and he was like, I don't care. It's totally worth it. I'm like, I mean, on some level, because the internet is forever, but also,
but also like, how, okay, you either have to get that covered up with something or removed, which is painful, which means he kind of won in the end anyway.
Yeah, I think he had to pay for her to have laser removal surgery. Okay. And that was the $5,000 that he had to pay her to cover that. Hey, hello, how are you? Addis, we are well. How are you? We're talking about tattoos. If you have an opinion, please share. We love to hear people's opinions. Yes. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where like at the same time, the idea of getting a piece of Lego tattooed on me is kind of funny, but also, why? I have Lego. I don't want to be Lego. That'd be ridiculous.
You know what it kind of reminds me of is people naming their kids after them. That's what last names are for. Like the whole, I have to carry on my legacy. You have a last name.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. That's I deeply listen to God. Thanks, Addis. We appreciate that.
Not just that. That's 3 E's. I deeply listen to your conversation.
Hey, listen.
Good on you, I guess.
Yeah. Keep your pants on and the camera off. No, thank you. We appreciate your support. And hey, I hope everything's okay in India. I know things are a little bit rocky. There's a lot of weird stuff happening. Maybe everyone should get commemorative tattoos across the world. Can you imagine the whole world around? That would cause an uproar.
When it happens, if everyone gets the same tattoo for the happiness of it, then that would be entertaining.
I don't know. I feel like that it would blow up almost immediately on a global scale. It's hard enough to figure out what to eat and in the evening between a husband and two people, let alone getting everyone in the world to uniformly decide to get a tattoo.
Yeah,
I would like to learn more
in
English.
order for that to happen, you gotta get like a Invasion of the Body Snatchers style hive mind involved.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Or the one from the guy who didn't like musicals, which is also a musical. Count it.
That is a bingo card important spot because I would like to. Hey, and you know what? That's the greatest way to learn English is to listen to other people reading English, because you can also add. I don't know if you can add subtitles while you're live, maybe, but after the fact. So go through our entire catalog and watch away. Yes. Enjoy.
Just don't ask him to pronounce the word about. You're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, that's totally fair. That's the best part is I had somebody from Oklahoma say I said about wrong, and I'm like, how do you say it? She goes, about. I'm like, that's not even a word. I don't. And she was like, no, it's about. I'm like, there's no second A in about. And she was like, well, you don't say it about. I'm like, no, I say about. Out. Out. 2 words put together. Not about.
What I realized about the California accent is we don't pronounce T's in the middle of the word usually. It's not Santa Monica, it's Santa Monica. Like that.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the weird thing about language, is constantly changing, right? And that's I think like the funny thing is, like, we were talking about that guy's tattoo. He's like, oh, if I had known what it was about, I wouldn't have gotten it. And you're like, well, the reason or significance of something does change over time, but realistically, you're like, that's a rough one.
Even when he was young, like, Nazis were still bad back then. It's not like this is the 1960s and he's like, oh man, I got it in 1938 and I didn't know it was going to age that poorly. No, it's
oops.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. Yeah, I know where you're from. I am from Toronto, Canada. He is from Los Angeles, California. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's weird, right? And also too, like, I learned something on and this is also too, is the internationality of things is also something to consider. Right. Like a poppy, I think, is a good idea because the poppy is not a sign of anything bad around the world. I don't know anything like that. Like I can make your sparkler look real bad very easily. But the poppies, no. A sparkler, though, they just have to draw a few extra things, and people be like, no, right? But
because when I showed it to my students, they were like, "Mister, don't you make heroin from poppies?" I'm like, "That's a specific kind of poppy." That would be like if I had a mushroom and they're like, "Oh, drugs." I'm like, "This is a portobello mushroom, much different kind of mushroom." You know. I
also, though, would love to see someone get a tattoo of a portobello mushroom anywhere and just be like, "I love mushrooms," and you're like, me too, bro. He's like, no, for cooking exclusively, which is
that actually happened today in class. Like, I heard a couple students arguing about like pizza toppings, and one of them goes, "Mister, do you like mushrooms?" I'm like, "The food, right? Like, I'm not about to be asked about drugs in class because I've been asked about drugs before. The food," and they go, "Yes, Mister, the food. Yes, I like the food." Like that whole exchange happened today.
I think it would have been funnier if you're like, "Yeah, I like mushrooms." Wait. The food or the drug? And they're like, the food. And you're like, no, those are gross. Just want to go, hey. Like,
and the drugs, that's also disgusting.
It does. Actually, you know what? I told somebody that when I take mushrooms, I just like raw dog, just like, and just eat it. And people were like, oh, isn't that gross? I'm like, yeah, you got to work. And they're just like,
I mean,
I don't think you do. I'm like, you do.
Coffee used to be drunk like a drug. It was, yes. Like this is very bitter and tastes like ass, but it keeps me awake all night. So yes. Bottoms up, and then you go on with your day.
I'll be honest with you. We want to hear something really weird. Was when I first did my first wave of losing like big weight.
It's time for big weight. Yeah.
That's also on the bingo card. I I started to, because I started fasting, and when you fast for long amounts of periods of time, your palate has a tendency to change, right? So I'm not sure if it kick-started things or what, but after I started fasting and losing weight, I started to enjoy bitter tasting things more.
Oh,
and I never did. Yeah, and I was like, that's the thing is like the not sour. I'm like I've always preferred sweet over sour, but I don't mind sour. Like it's an event, it's a thing, you know. But bitter was a new one where I was like, huh, all right. So like a black coffee, no problem. It was easy. It was not. Yeah.
I remember being a kid and arguing with my parents about like, why do you like bitter things? Because my mom loves dark chocolate, like really dark chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I have 1 square a day as a treat, and it's good for my immune system, or whatever the thing is.
It is. That's 100% accurate.
I was like, why would you enjoy this? This tastes terrible. And she's like, you just like it as you get older. I'm like, bitter is the bad part of bittersweet. Why?
The wild thing is, like, I remember grabbing baking chocolate was like 90% dark chocolate.
Like,
and I was like, can I have some of the chocolate? My mom's like, you're not going to like that. That's dark chocolate. It's for baking. You won't like it. And I'm like, I'll like it. And then I ate 1 square and I was like, this is the worst thing ever. And now I actively look, oh, do you have a dark chocolate option? Is there dark chocolate? Is there, and if it's got some like nuts and stuff, I'm like, is there a dark chocolate option? Or if there's fruit, because it just has less sugar, which
I don't think I'm there yet. I'm still I'll have a cup of Josephine, thank you. Like that kind of thing. Like, okay, I have the super bitter coffee, and then I put a bunch of creamer in it, and then it's kind of sweet. And like it's not, cloyingly sweet, but still kind of,
Well, that's the thing is like you, especially like the experience that I've had too, is like you find out that like, oh, sugar, not only is it in too many things, but also is the worst. Like the new thing is type 3 diabetes, which is linked to things like Parkinson's and dementia and stuff like that. Like it's very related to sugar being where sugar shouldn't be. And especially like the amount of old people that now have diabetes is unhinged. So like, I'm glad that I'm now diabetes free, but like, Jesus, man, like that's why I'm like, I actively have to try and stay like, even fruit, can't have too much fruit just because you're like, yeah, it's not good for you. And also like, yeah, who knows? It's one of those things like it happened when I was newly in my 40s. Like I didn't like feta cheese until I was 21.
I loved feta cheese as a teenager. I loved it like on pizza as a pizza topping.
Yeah.
It's good.
Hey, what's up, Chance? No, I didn't. I wasn't
like feta cheese. You're Greek, isn't that like in your DNA?
I've been talking with Victoria. So Victoria likes olives, and I don't really like olives. Like I love olive oil, but I've never liked olives. And she was like, "You should," because there are other foods that I've started to like. And I'm like, I think I'm not sure about olives, but I definitely hate biting into something thinking it's soft and then getting a hard pit. So that is another thing. We were talking about it too. Like somebody got a rose hot chocolate, and I was like, "Is that rose?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." They're like, "Why do you like rose?" I'm like, "No, I think my parents gave me Turkish delight when I was really young," and I was like, "This is disgusting." But yeah, that's it. That's why I'm like, did you just start, or did you make a stream last night that I was talking about?
Supposed to do it on Sunday, and I fucked up. That's completely my fault, and we're doing it today instead.
But I was also live last night. That's why. And then this is a different thing. I do a few shows. Number one is Morning Motivational Rant. Number 2, Generation Dan. Usually happens on Sundays. Number 3 is movie nights. And then I also do Motherfucking Mondays on Upside Down Studios and What the Fuck Wednesdays at nighttime at Upside Down Studios. So
that's so many shows. That's a lot.
Honestly, I was on a course today through my YouTube thing because I'm monetized. So they send me stuff and they're like, "Hey, we want you to. We think you might benefit from watching this webinar." And today was the live stream thing, and the guy's like, "Bro, if you want to live stream, you got to be on like 40 hours a week minimum." And I was like, "Oh, I got to do more." I'm like, "I'm not doing enough. I think I'm gonna start building more Lego and stuff." And Victoria's like, "You should build more Lego." She does not like that I have so many Lego boxes in our house because I have.
And she wants them to be done and out of the house. Got it.
Well, I don't know if they'll leave the house, but they'll just be on display instead of in the box.
Yeah, so like, but the display takes up less room than the box probably.
Other than Barad-dûr. Barad-dûr is like 2 feet by 2 feet by 2.5 feet, so it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's. I'm down.
Yeah,
I gotta, because I have one shelf with all like cool Batman or black stuff. So I have the Dark Falcon, which I'm gonna put in there too, because the Dark Falcon comes with a white Darth Vader and a Darth Jar Jar Binks, which is insane. Cool. And I'm like, I wanted a Millennium Falcon because I have a Transformers Millennium Falcon, and it splits in half, and one side becomes a Transformers Han Solo, and the other side is a Transformers Chewbacca, and then they go together and become the Millennium Falcon. I'm a nerd. Everyone, you found out. Cool. If it wasn't already obvious, just FYI.
Yeah, I can't wait for this stupid internship to be over so I can like have my week back again.
What internship? What are you talking about?
So I'm what's called a district intern, where you do the classes for getting your teaching credential at the same time as being a teacher. So 2 nights a week are not mine. Like Tuesdays and Thursdays, I am spending 2 to 4.5 hours on Zoom, or every other week in person at Johnny Cochran Middle School in Los Angeles.
Johnny Cochran has a middle school? Wow.
He very much does. Yeah.
If it does not fit, you must have quit.
But
that's the law now.
That's the mascot too. It's a glove. No, so I can't wait to have
California is like Australia. It's not a real place. It's just I don't know where I traveled to for your wedding, but it's not a real place.
But I'm done after this year, and I just have my credential, and I have to clear it, which is not quite as strenuous, but it's not like I'm on webinars basically 2 nights a week for the entire night. I have my nights back to me again.
Well, that's always good. I'm sure your wife will appreciate that. What's your opinion on the new Marvel movie coming out? What's the new Marvel movie?
After Endgame. Yay.
Oh, that's probably for the best. Endgame was great, and Infinity War was good, but after that, everything got really weird. It just and I'm just like, can you guys just pick a story and do that? I just want to see a live action of the comic I've already read. That's all. That's all I want. It's
I did it.
It's getting weird.
But we're getting near the end of the show here, so I'm just gonna plug real quick. If you are in the Azusa area of Southern California, which is like very east of LA, if you are near a train line, you can actually get to this venue. On April 11th, I will be hosting the first of a pilot show, basically, at a particular art studio on April 11th at 8 p.m. And I don't have the poster for it yet, but I will have it up and I will keep plugging it week to week. But it's cool. I've never produced a show before.
That's exciting.
It's like a guy who does paint and sips, and he's like, I want to have laughing sips too. Will you run my shows for me? I was like, okay. So once a month, we'll see what happens. Should be fun. Send
me the poster so I'll throw it on to the StreamYard so we can advertise it as well.
Sweet. Okay, cool.
Because why not? Hey, listen, I've run shows for people. What do you think of China? I mean, it's got great, cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They make almost everything in the world. So, I've run a couple of shows a few times because people were like, hey, can you run the show for me? And I'm like, I don't know. No, please. And I'm like, all right, fine. But I don't enjoy it.
I've hosted shows before. I've never produced shows. And in this case, I'm only doing about half of it because he has his little like client base who's already coming to these things. He's like, just get comics for me and run the shows. Deal. I'm in. Like, this is going to be awesome.
Well, you know enough comics that, you've been doing comedy since you were 3 years old. So fair.
Since I was 17. I recently had my 15-year anniversary on March 15th. So.
Which is wild. You've been doing comedy. Let me see here. When did you turn 17? Would have been
February 2011.
So you've been doing comedy for like 6 years longer than me. 6.5. Yeah.
Suck it. All right. So thanks everybody for watching. If you want to if you want to follow us at Generation Dan, wherever fine social medias are found. You can follow me at Atlas Novak, wherever fine social medias are found, including TikTok and Instagram and Blue Sky and all that. Or check out my other show, Nexus at Night, which streams every Friday night at 7 p.m. I almost said Eastern. You're Eastern. 7 p.m. Pacific. That's also about the card game Card Fight Vanguard. If that's not your thing, I completely understand. How about you?
Do you know the Genetic Marvel on a ton of platforms? I still don't even know what Blue Sky is, but hey. Also, I don't have Threads. Not interested. So, come on. But yeah, so I post a lot about food and my activities and adventures on everywhere. So you can follow me and you can harass me if you want. It'll be funnier because I'm probably bigger than you, and I'll pull your pants down in front of everybody. It'll be hilarious. But you know, come out. I am doing more shows. I'm going to be touring BC possibly in the next couple months, which should be entertaining.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm working with a friend of ours. Yeah, you met Rob Weber over Zoom stuff during the before times. No, the dark times. So he wants me to come. Yeah. It was after the before times, but before the new times. Yeah, let's call it that. The in between times. So he's trying to set it up, and then we're going to try and do something. We're going to do BC because that's where he is as a test run, and then see if we could do across Canada or something independentally because we're both of an age where we hate everyone, so one of those things. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday because that's the day, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye folks.